I forgot to turn the microphone on again. And I've got big arrows pointing to where the thing is. Right, hello, welcome. Welcome to Skipper Scale Models. Build something with Skipper Ted. I said all that before, but you never heard it. So, yes, here we are. Right, welcome. I'm not going to do regular live streams. As maybe you saw in the last live stream I did, and I explained a little bit then about what I was going to do. I'm not going to do regular live streams every Wednesday or every Friday or Thursday afternoon or something like that. I'm going to do them as and when I can fit them in around family life, work life, and things like that. And tonight is one of those times when I can fit something in. Yeah, the audio was working now. Thank you, everybody. Turn the mic on. I rely on you lot to keep me going. So that's what it is. Tonight is one of my unannounced live streams. I am going to try and make them sort of a regular type thing, but you need to like and subscribe and keep an eye out in the YouTube notifications about when I'm going to go live. And also follow me on Skipper's Scale Models and in the Boom Hut, things like that. I usually post links in there when I can get a live stream sorted. And I also said that I'm not going to stick to one particular genre of model making. I'm not going to do plastic modelling. I'm going to make models, plastic models, but I'm not going to stick to them. I'm going to build these. I'm going to build plastic models, and I'm also going to do some railway modelling, like what I'm going to do tonight. I'm going to build a card railway station, or we'll begin it anyway. I don't think we'll get it finished all in one sitting. Well, probably not. Anyway, it's good unless it's a really long sitting, and then you get bored and you leave. I'm going to do some weathering. Painting wagons and things like that, and yeah, I'll do some dioramas which will all fit in. They all fit around together, although it's not one genre of model making. They all sort of interlap, interlink and overlap with each other. So yeah, it's we could do it that way. So yeah, right, who's in the chat? I know that one or two people came in earlier, but welcome to you. Right, right, Gemma's in. Yeah, Candy was first in. Good evening to you. Then followed by Gemma. Retro Rabbit, just finished one of your final exams. Hope it goes well. How did you feel about it? Did it go all right? Yeah. Graham Roberts says, I have to give you a slap from Sarah for clashing with Prime Time. Sorry, yeah. However, yeah, I'm sorry if I clash with anybody. I'm just picking random places out of the air and thinking I can fit a live stream in then, and I'm going to go for it. Right, who else? Graham McRoberts, no sound, mate. Yes, it's all sorted. Look, I've got big arrows pointing to the microphone button to tell me that I need to turn the microphone on, and I didn't do it. Can anybody read lips? Says Candy. Yes, I should put closed captions on, shouldn't I? But then again, with my accent, it could come up with anything, and it could be rude. And on today's episode, Ted mimes for 15 minutes. Yeah, yeah. I should get a little man in the corner down here somewhere that could do some signing, things like that. Hugh Gordon, hi you. Gemma, Hugh. Pete Rogers, good evening. Phil Lewis. So yeah, regulars are coming in. Right, what are we going to do tonight? Let's go over to the other camera, this one, because I've got technical and I've got two cameras now. I've got this as well. So yeah, there's the little arrow that's pointed to my microphone. Right, what we're going to do tonight is start this. This is a Metcalfe kit. Now Metcalfe, if there's anybody that's into model railways out in Chatland, Metcalfe makes some fantastic card kits. This is card, yeah. We'll have a look at it in more detail in a moment. But this is the settled Carlisle Railway Station. If you've ever travelled on the scenic railway, it's a mainline route between Settle and Carlisle. You'll have seen stations of this ilk, of this design and build. And Metcalfe, it's been many years since I built a Metcalfe building, and at that time they were all sort of very thin, all tabs to glue and turn in and glue. But looking at the kits now, they've come on fantastically, and this one is actually looks very similar. If I can get my slideshow going, it looks very similar to the Ribblehead Railway Station. If you know of the Ribblehead Viaduct, this is the railway station just prior or just after, depends which way you're coming. This is a station just around about the Ribblehead Viaduct, and it looks almost identical to this kit. Now then, we'll get rid of that and back to the kit. Now then, these kits are designed really to go on to railways, but I've been on the Facebook groups and things like that, and I'm finding that actually people build these kits with no intentions of putting them on railways. There's these kits, Metcalfe, and then there's lots of other kits as well, housing architectural type kits that you can get, and especially the ladies are building them in little scenes of their own. I've got another one that I'll be building at some time in the future, and it's actually cut MDF. And I'm thinking that what I'm going to do is turn that, it's a cottage, and I'm going to turn that cottage into a pub. So I'll probably do that as a build vlog, and rather than do it a live stream, I'll do it as a build vlog, and then I might put that in its own scene. I'm building it as a pub, so I could build a little beer garden, a little car park with it, and just a little scene on its own. And I found that's actually a proper way of another way of building them, so they don't have to go on a railway. So anyway, let's have a look at this kit. I'll take myself away from the corner a little bit so we can get a bit more room on the screen. We'll have a look at it. Now then, the kit themselves, it's all I'll try not to make too much noise, but there we are. If you want it, it's PO333. I put a link in the description below, so you've got to have a look at them. Yeah, so right, Pete Rogers says those Metcalfe kits are quite enjoyable to build. Yeah, they are. They can be built. Some of the smaller ones, yeah, you can build them in an evening. Some of the more complex ones, if you wait a minute, I'll see if I can find one I've got. This is one I've already built. This is a row of shops. What we have, you can, the kit provides you with all the different sort of signage and things like that, so you can build them differently. I've got a florist, a butcher's, a baker's, and a chip shop. The chip yard chip shop. That's hard to say without swearing. And then there's an extra little piece, as an optional extra, you can put the canopy over as well. And then get some flats. Upstairs, above the shops, a row of flats. This one here is actually for sale. And this kit here is actually what they call a low relief building. So it goes flat against your backboard. And you can build a row of shops. This is done in stone, brick, whereas the station, what we're going to look at, is actually done in stone. But Metcalfe provide different papers and brick to adjust these to what you want. You can buy this shop if you wanted to do a whole town. You can actually buy this shop in stone as well. So instead of it being brick, it would fit in with your the rest of your layout and your design. So that's it. They are really sturdy. Yeah, the card, you've got to make sure they don't get damp or anywhere like that. So if you're using them in a damp garage, you don't want to be putting them in there. But that's it. That's what this is. That's a finished one. They even provide the pavement, self-adhesive like pavements, things like that. I built the extra bits on the end, but they were Retro Rabbits. I've got a paper craft kit of Kiki's house from the Gilbean film Kirk's Delivery Service. I've done only one window so far. Yeah, that's it. And Pete Rogers uses them for background. They're brilliant, aren't they? But yeah, it's my thoughts were that I would like to start and build a small layout. I've got a little bit of room here in the workshop that I could probably squeeze just like an 8-foot by 2-foot rail layout in. It's my intention. Whether it ever materialises, we shall see. However, right, let's have a look what's in the box. We always do that, don't we? We do a box review. Let's have a look what's in the box. Right, everything that's in the box is obviously card and it's laser cut. Unlike the old days where you had to cut the whole thing out, it's now laser cut, apart from a few places where it's held held in and you need to cut along the lines just to release the parts. But they're brilliantly printed, finely detailed. The only thing about them is they're not textured, but for 00 scale, standoff scale, excuse me, I've got a cough. But for standoff scale, they're good. Yeah, they're good. There are other makers available as well as Metcalfe, but yeah, there's that one. Then there's some playing card. There's just nothing on these. These are your like structures, which hold the building together, and these are your frontages and the roofs, things like that. So they build up. Chimney stacks, more buildings, and right hand tells you where everything is. And then more grey card, and then you've got your windows. These are all printed on acetate sheet, cut out of them, and then we've got more details and things like that. It will all become apparent as we get on. One of the features about the Settle Carlisle Railway Stations is that they're painted red, so these will be the details as such for that. Brilliant. Right, if you do have any questions as we go along about anything, just because I'm building this doesn't mean to say we can't chat about anything else. Do add your comments in chat, ask the questions. Right, so yeah, and I forgot the important bit, the instructions. Yes, I had just before we went live on air, I thought, I better dig the instructions out of this kit and see what it's all about. I couldn't find them. Yeah, anyway, I found found the instructions, so we'll put them away to one side for the moment. We've got the instructions, we've read through them. We always read through the instructions, especially us fellas, because we need, we always follow instructions, don't we, fellas? Yes, we do. Yeah, right. So, right, what do we need to put it together? Right, first of all, we need some glue. I've got this glue. It's high-tack glue from anybody that's in the UK. I got this from the range. It's fairly cheap, high tack glue, all purpose, very sticky glue, and it does the job. You can use Yoo-hoo solvent free glue. Get the solvent free one because it doesn't string as much. Or you can use, I've got the deluxe glue and glaze, but you can use the deluxe make a speed bond or paper, card and paper glue, which is very good as well. So that's the glue, that's all you need. So we've got glue. Then you need a modeller's knife. I've got the usual scalpel. You can use a nice craft knife. Strangely, the instructions tell you, or the people from Metcalfe say, you don't need a super sharp knife, because you can be cutting out and it can actually slip and ruin your cutting out. So there we go. We need a steel ruler. Steel rule. A ruler is a king or queen. This is a rule. A cutting surface. Obviously we're going to do this on the cutting mat, and then some tweezers. I do have some really fine tweezers and some not so fine tweezers, some rounded ones, some scissors. You may find that you could actually use a pointier set than this, but these will do. And then some clamps and things like that, and maybe some masking tape. That's about it. That's all you're going to need. Now then, any of you ladies out there, Gemma, this would be a good one for you. While Chris is upstairs or wherever he is doing his building, these are fantastic kits for the ladies to do. I say ladies, anybody that's, you want to do some building in front of the TV, and this, all you need is the area, the size for cutting mat to build these on. You don't need a great workshop. You don't need masses of tools and equipment and things like that. These could be built as a bit of fun. You remember there was that craze one time of diamond dots, things like that. You could build these, and then you could put them on a little base, and you can make a little garden with them. And then you could build flower gardens and things like that, and you could have a little base and a nice attractive display piece, something like that. Yeah, we don't have to put tanks in them or anything like that, or railway engines. Just build it and stand alone. So there we go. So go out and get one. They're not expensive either. I think this one was about 15 quid, something like that. I'll have to double check, but they're really not that expensive. So yeah, so go out and build one. Just go buy a Metcalfe simple card kit, and yeah, you'll be hooked. Right. Right, where do we go? Let's make a start on doing something. We'll come back. I can see you now. Oh, well, you could see me. So we'll do a magic P&P. Right, let's have a look. Now that it tells us that if you go via the instructions from Metcalfe, it tells you that one thing to do, a bit of advice, is to cut things out and then put them to one side, and you've got then a builder's yard. I tend to follow the route of plastic modelers. Maybe it's a bit of habit. I try to leave them in the card until I need it, because I mix things up, or I might go away for a couple of days and then forget where I am. So there we are. Extract components from the base sheets to stop the So there we go. Right, thick grey cards tells us, it tells us to cut all these bits out, but I'm not going to do that, not yet anyway. So the first place to start is go around to doors and windows. We will start with the front porch entrance to the red laser cut double door and fix it to the back of the inner frame. Right, there we go. There's the first bit. Our Fox is in. Good evening to you, Fox. Welcome along. Yes, we could learn lots of different things tonight. Tonight we're going to be architects and build railway stations. Pete says he does find that using scalpels on the card blunts them quite quickly. Then you're only cutting the tabs up. Yeah, it does. That's why any of you ladies out there who are quilters and things like that, if hubby or the other half uses your scissors to cut paper, it blunts them. Yeah, so there we are. So yeah, that could be one of the reasons why a Stanley knife, other knives are available, a Stanley knife is useful. But yeah, if I've got masses of these blades, so I use them. Oh right, where we are. Canley says I'm not seeing a tumbler containing gin. No, I haven't got one. I've got some water, but it's work tomorrow, so I'm on water tonight. Yeah, maybe next time I come, I'll fetch a single malt. I should do that, shouldn't I? Yeah, I've got stent. Yeah, I've got a drip. Yeah, drip feed. Mum's watching Carry On films on ITV3. Yeah, they've been on last couple of days. Carry On films. We've got them all. We've got a collection of all the Carry On films. Right. So there we. Let's make something. Right. Let's go to doors and windows. Because it says cut everything out, but I don't want to do that because I'll lose it. We'll start with the front porch entrance. Right, which is the front porch entrance? Now it doesn't tell you. It doesn't tell you where all these parts are. So you've really got to have a look around and try and find them. Which is the front porch entrance? That looks like the front porch entrance. Yeah, it looks like I've got Fox's Stanley knife. Yeah, I don't know where I acquired this Stanley knife from, but you can't get them with a locking blade anymore. Apparently, health and safety and things like that. The blade, the ones you can get now, the blade comes out, but you've got to hold it out, and then it goes back in of its own accord. But yeah, this is mine. Yeah, you go pinch your own. Right, there we go. Right, so we need an inner frame. So we need this one. Now then, as I said, these are all laser cut. So usually by shining it there, we can see that there is a nub to cut just there. I prefer using my scalpel. There's a nub to cut there. See, there's even nubs on the paper kits. And you can feel it when you're cutting these out. You can feel the nubs with your knife. Yeah, these are, yeah, Fox, these, I wouldn't say that these are more complex than the days of old, but these kits now have improved somewhat, because I remember days of old, as I say, they were very thin card, and you had to bend little tabs and then glue the little tabs, and because it was thin card, if you put too much glue on, the card went soggy and then it didn't glue, and then even the amount of glue that you put on them made them all warp. Right, so there we go. There we go. A moment in skipper scale models when the first pieces were cut. It's always a moment when you start the kit. You cut the first bits. Right, so we need some doors. The inner frame is this one with the small diagonal strips here. Each the instructions are really fairly clear, idiot proof. So yeah, so we can make them. So we'll do that one, and then we want a door. Now that you've got to examine the picture though to make sure you're getting the right door. That's that one. What you do find is you'll end up with lots and lots of little pieces. Now these are perfect squares or rectangles depending on the shape of them, but they're perfect, they're cut at right angles. Keep them, you never know when they're going to come in handy. Bobbins is in. Good evening to you, Bobbins. Welcome to Build Something with Ted, and we're going to build something different throughout the live streams. We're not going to stick to one thing. So there we are. There's the door. Now then, we can leave the door shut, or we can leave the door, or we can open the door a little bit. I always like to open doors, especially on buildings, because it creates that air of mystery. It does. So then we need yes, that glue's in there. Right. We are applying glue for the first time. Now you can get superfine applicators from Metcalfe, but I find that if you cut the tip off here very carefully, you can get a nice application. You get the nozzle so it applies the glue nicely. Don't need a lot, don't flood it like I have, and then I'm just using the nozzle just to spread it around a bit. There we go. Right, we don't need a lot, and then we need to carefully position it. That's one reason I like this tacky glue, because it does leave you a little bit of fiddle time, and it does dry clear as well. So we'll just take that off. Bit of excess glue. There we go. Concentration. Concentrating with his tongue out. Bobbins, do I have a model railway to fit this to? Not yet. It's my intentions to, but I don't want to, yeah, I'd love to have a railway set, and I intend to get a railway set. I'm just going to build a little rail layout, but I'm not going to make it a priority. If it happens and evolves, I'll do it. But in the meantime, I'm just enjoying building these buildings. There's a lot of buildings there. So there we go. That's that one. So we glued two bits together. Now take the outer frame and fit the small door frame so it fits around the centre opening. Once again, back to the red bits. And that looks like that one. So we could have a look through it, shine it to the light, just lift it to the light, and right, that's that one. They're brilliantly cut, these, and they're a UK kit as well. They are made by a company in Skipton, which isn't too far away. So, and apparently you can call in. They don't have a shop as such, but you can call in the factory. So next time I'm over at Skipton, I might do that. Right. Once again, cut these windows out. There and there. So don't forget, keep your chat and things going, and give me something to talk about. I am here. I'm reading the chat as well. I do realise that tonight apparently there's some football match on or something. I do apologise if you've had to stop watching the football to come and watch me, but I do appreciate it. And if you have something particularly you want me to notice, yeah, do type in bold so I can maybe catch sight of it before it disappears up in the chat. Oh, there's a super chat button as well. I think I've got a super chat down there somewhere. There we go. Can't wait for the availability of handheld hobby cutting lasers. Yeah, well, yeah. Who'd have thought that we'd have had home 3D printers? So you never know what could come along in the future. But yeah, for the accuracy of cutting these things out, as I say, superbly sharp edges and cuttings on these things. Keep them all, because they come in. You can probably build something with all the bits. You've got to be careful that you don't push the things out, because it can cause the card to sometimes rip on the back. Oh, we need that one as well. We need the door frame. I'm just wondering, are the people out there who maybe build kits as these type of kits as well, who has a railway set? Candy, thank you very much. Is this Skipper Ted's first super chat message? It is. I think it is. I don't know what happens now. I've never had one before, but thank you very much, Candy. It's very nice of you. Thank you very much. I shall put that towards another one of these kits. Yeah, because all my YouTube funding takes ages to get any sort of payout from YouTube, because it goes on the amount of adverts that get watched and things like that. But what I do, I reinvest any makings, any financial gains. I reinvest it back into the model making. And this actual kit was part of that. It was financed by YouTube. So that goes on there like that. So we glued two things together. We've actually glued something together. So when I built that row of houses, I did find that you had to be careful and make sure that everything was lined up, a bit like trumpeter. I'm just doing a little trick here because I haven't applied enough glue in there. They're a little bit like trumpeter. Everything has to line up and make sure it's straight, because if you don't line this door frame up, it then, for instance, it can then misalign something else, and by the time you get to the end, there's something well out and things won't fit, so you've got to make sure. Let's see there, so there we go, that's that one. Now turn the inner and outer frames upside down, why do you need to turn them upside down? I'm going to have to read this in a minute. Now turn the inner frames and outer frame units upside down and fit the inner frame to the back of the outer unit. Why do you need to turn them upside down? Make sure the sides and top. Now the bottom, I think you just need is making sure that the edges are lined up. Right, I get it, I think. Right, so some more glue on here. So we've had the Easter weekend. Has anybody do anything special over the Easter? Were you enjoying the time off? Were you at work? Were you at home with all the Easter eggs? Turn them upside down so all the number fibres will, yeah, that's it. There is a reason why you need to turn things upside down. It will all become clear. Probably a thing I didn't mention that you might need is a few cocktail sticks just for applying glue to small places. Right, now then, that goes on there upside down, and they want to make sure that the edges are lined up. One thing about this glue, this tacky glue, it does dry clear, so there's an advantage to that. Right, so now we have, it does look, so we have the top edges right, I get it, because if you read through further on, this is where I was on about, it's like a trumpeted cake. You need to make sure everything's lined up, because it says when you turn it back, there's a tiny, where's my pointy? There's a tiny gap underneath the door where the step's gonna fit. All becomes apparent. So right, that's that bit. So we'll now fit the two glazings WG4 to the back of the two window openings with the matte printed side. Oh, we get to put some windows in. Right, find the windows. We want two WG4s. This is where you can use your scissors. Or in my case, I'll use my scalpel because I can run along the rule. Let's go back to the scissors because the scalpel's blunt for cutting card. An idea I had thought up for a future live stream is I'll come on and answer some questions. So as time goes on, I'd like you to send in your questions in the form of either or. You know the thing. Do you like pints or do you like shorts? Pints or shorts? Either, you know, that sort of question. You know what it is? Either or. Right, now then, you need to make sure that these are the right way around. There's a matte side and a shiny side, so it's a printed side facing through the opening, so that goes in there. Now this is where the glue and glaze comes in, because this is brilliant for these kits. And it lasts forever. I've been doing Titanic with this. And it goes on forever. Now, glue and glaze is good because, once again, it dries clear and it gives you some fiddle time. Now we need to make sure that these windows are lined up and there's an equal sort of spacing of the frame around the window. That's that one. See? Looking good. Look at that. This one as well. If you ever, well, go and buy some glue and glaze from Deluxe, but when you get it, keep the blue nozzle. Don't throw it away. Don't lose it, because that's brilliant. I've just dropped it. Oh, blast! Let's clean some of that glue off. So this is what things that happen live. Now I've got smudged windows. We've got greasy windows in the railway station. Of course, saying this is a railway station, if you don't want it to be a railway station, it doesn't have to be. You can kit bash these kits. Something amazing. This kit itself has got a bit of a lean-to on it. Not lean-to, an annex, an extension. If I could show you, we'll leave that there. Looks like a saloon bar now. Okay, folks, thanks for dropping in. Yep. Do come back and catch us on. Do come back on and see on Catch Up, and see how to build things. Yeah, but regards to Mama Fox, thanks for dropping by. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, you can kit bash these kits something brilliantly. Like this has got this extension on here. You don't have to have that. You could build that. You could build them in two separate sections and have that as another building. And you can add because Metcalfe produce their own extra card sets and things like that. You can build other buildings with them or add extensions onto this. So it doesn't have to be a railway station. It can stay that. It can be something else. Right. So that's that. So, but even now we could see how well it's going together, the detail and things like that. Right, so we need to put this to one side, otherwise we'll... Right, so we've done that. Next, carefully fit each of the glazing to the window frames, starting with a 3 WG1 glazing set. We'll do that after. Let's build some inner walls. Because we've... yeah. Candy's got glue and glaze on order because they said it was also good. It is brilliant for photo etch. Yeah, come along and watch my live streams. Oops, I've just dropped things. Come along and watch my live streams for the Titanic, because this photo etch in here has been glued in with glue and glaze. Worked brilliantly. Now I've just dropped a set of steps down here. I've dropped a set of photo etch steps on the floor. I must remember to look for them after the show, otherwise I'll stand on them. Oh. Where have they gone? Tiny steps. Bobbins don't want it to be a railway station, it wants to be a Death Star. Right, it could be, yes, the Death Star could be hiding within sort of space and time continuum and things like that. It could be within the Death Star station. Let's glue. It's bugging me now. Where's those steps gone? I'll be thinking about that all night now. Oh, right. Let's glue some inner walls together. Start with the two plain grey inner walls. This is how the building goes together. Inner walls. It looks like. No, it doesn't. It looks like that one and that one and that one. No, that one. G1. Right, let's get this the right way around, orientate it. We'll put these out the way because we've built them. Docosaurus, good evening to you. Welcome to the show. We're building different things tonight. I don't know if anybody's done a live stream on building railway buildings, but tonight is the night. So Pete Rogers, I believe that you have a railway layout. Does anybody else in chat have or had a railway layout? Would you have another one if you've had one? What scale? What's the different scales out there? What scale did you have? Would you change the scale? Tell us about your experiences of model railways. Myself personally, I've always had 00 scale stuff. Nice thick cards, keep them. I've had 00 gauge, but never had a permanent railway setup. It's always been one that you've set it up on the dining room table or something like that, or on the floor, and then had to put it away at tea time. You see how these kits are so easy. Okay, he says so easy to cut out. If I had room in my house, there would be trains. Yeah, I think that's the downfall of most people, is actually having somewhere to put it. It's only recently since I've sort of been doing some railway painting, weathering of some locos and rolling stock for a friend of mine, that it sort of piqued my interest, and now I have this itch that's got to be scratched. I think so. I think I'd like to have something, but because of where it is in the loft here, it's going to be difficult for anybody to come up and view it. So I would really need to have it portable, so that when I've done things on it I could take it not to railway exhibitions, but I could just even take it downstairs for the grandchildren to enjoy, or show it off, bore your friends. If you see my railway set, would you like to see it? So, see here how we begin to build the structure of the main building. So that's that one. We'll do the same with the front. I'm assuming it's the front or the back, whichever way you want to orientate your building. It doesn't look much as you're cutting card out, but then suddenly it comes together. Once you start putting the printed card on, the building starts coming to life. These could be the sort of things that you can build in front of the TV. If your hobby room was maybe outside in a shed or something like that, and it was too cold to go out there, get one of them little TV trays, in front of the TV and spend the evening with your family while you're building these together. So great for the ladies, or it's like that, but they're not all man type things. As I say, you can add your extras and do these up with flowers and hanging baskets. We could start, yeah. We could start a group building railways, building 00 scale buildings. We could get the same kit and we can all build along. Pete Rogers, which of these buildings have you got? Which did you enjoy the most building, or what looks the most attractive building to ones you've built? And see, sometimes the parts just fall apart. Just a matter of cutting through the nubs. One thing that so I lost the track of bobbins, yeah, get a 00 scale Dora. Oh yeah, you could build all the buildings. I'm sure that Dora would have had support buildings. Buildings to support its operation, because it was so big it wouldn't have trundled up and down the line or around. They must have had buildings to house everybody in. There we go. That's the yeah. That's see how it goes together. The sticky glue gives you some movement time, and then it sticks rock hard. This will have already started to go off and become unmovable. Even just as yeah, these things, yes, they do lend themselves to being just dioramas. But the ones, I think the 1/74 scale, I think that's right, that's 00 scale, comes in at 4mm to the foot. That's 1/74 scale, so it's very near 1/72. You could perhaps get away with it if you wanted to build a military diorama or anything like that. Right, outer walls. Start with the left hand wall. Find the right bit. Must be on here then. We'll get a bit built just by we'll get a bit of the printed parts done. So see how the bits fall out. Start with the left hand wall and gable. That's his right hand wall and gable. I think it's that piece then. So yeah, we see these how doubling up the card, it's basically artist mounting card. If you want to build these from scratch, if you want to build buildings from scratch, 1mm or 2mm artist's mounting card is what you need to sort of build the framework of your house. And that Pete's coming. I have a police station, a fire station and some shops and a pub. You can get a selection of choices: police station, library, shop, pub, cum bank, etc. He's after a good bus station. I did see in one of the rail magazines a bus station. I'm not sure if it was Metcalfe, but there is a bus station out there. Right. It's this one. Rear left hand. Right, here we go. So yeah, it tells us here to cut. What can't see. It tells us here by cutting along here it should release the whole part. Let's see if it does. This hasn't cut through enough, as Pete says. Cutting card does quickly blunt your knife. There we go. What you end up with is lots of offcuts. Keep them. Yeah, as I keep saying, keep them. What I will do eventually, I'll get a takeaway box or something and put them in. Right, that's very good. Usually with these kits, so the older kits, this is a new release from Metcalfe. What you would do is when you bend the printed parts like this, it leaves a white it leaves a white edge. Now normally you would touch that up with just child's watercolour paints, just to colour the edges in and not make them stand out as much. But apparently you don't need to do that on this kit. Right, this is the part where it says we need to fit the windows, and because we haven't done this bit, we can't go to that bit, so we need to go back to that bit. What we'll do, I'll cut these bits out. WF2. Now I wonder if it tells us. Right, yes, we need these two. WG1. Where's the windows? Might help. Always read the instructions as it says. We don't do that. WF2. Rear window wall frames, WF2. I'm lost. Yeah, as Pete says, these are really a nice change from a bit of plastic. Yeah, once you've worked it out, I'm just lost because I'm trying to jump ahead of myself. But yeah, they are fun to build. They're great fun. They look good when they are built. You can, as I've been saying all along, you can add them to your railway, or you can just make them into a simple, nice, scenic little diorama. As I say, a pub with a beer garden, or a railway station. The railway station, you could make it that it's like been hit by the beaching cut and been left to dilapidate and fall apart. Bit of weathering on it. They're all nice and clean as they come. They're nice and they're nice and shiny buildings. But yeah, you can using powders. Excuse me, I've got hiccups there. Using weathering powders and paints like that, you can weather them up and make them anything that you want to be, really. I'm just trying to find these windows. I've got the wrong one. I think it's them. They're WG1, the three larger ones, and they're right. Yeah, that makes sense now. It actually makes sense because the printing of the windows matches the layout on the card. Simple, and then they go down there like that. So what I need to do is cut 3 of these windows out here. In fact, I cut them all out and then glaze them. Going back to the topic about am I getting a model railway? Yes, I will do. But in the meantime, I think I might build these up just into a town scene. and then eventually build a railway like around that. That could be the way to go. It's not as though I have to go out and buy the railway, the rolling stock and things like that, because I've still got that from when I was a kid. Well, not yeah, when I was a kid and when my lad was young. Still got them. Right, let's do some more glazing. Cut along the lines, really as simple as that. So, any questions from anyone out there? I'll probably go on for another 10-15 minutes or so. Any comments? What would you like to see? As I say, it's a bit of a free build. These, or it's going to become a free build. These types of live streams, rather than just sticking to plastic models. We'll do a free build, or I'll add free builds, and I won't do the same thing every time. Yeah, next time I come onto a live stream, I might be doing some plastic modelling, or I can do some weathering, some painting, things like that. It's also a bit less pressure, because these live streams, not so much live streams, but the video blogs take a little time to do, but it's nice to do live streams because it's easy. I don't have to do editing and things like that. So what would you like to see? Anything you would like to see done, or my Facebook page describes me as award-winning modeller. What awards have I won? Right, yes. Well, first of all, as you probably know, since I came on here, I did enter the IPMS show at Telford, and got a second place for the tank. That's the most recent one, but prior to that, I won awards in model boat building. I used to, as you probably know, I used to build scale model ships, and then I got into entering competitions with them. So yeah, I did that, and then it came to be a thing where I'd won a few prizes, and then they asked me if I would rather be a judge than enter competitions. So yeah, I did that. So yeah, I've won national prizes and local prizes for models. I won some on a national level, but yeah, it all started with the model ships. It's just nice to just nice to have something that people could say, yeah, you made a nice job of that, well done, here's a prize. Never won any, never won any cash, no, it's nothing like that. You win a Perspex trophy or a plate or something like that. But and becoming a judge was great actually, because I used to enjoy giving people feedback. Sort of, I wasn't a judge that would sort of mark something and then walk off and not give any feedback. I used to like to give feedback and tell people, yeah, it's good, but this is why we didn't give you the extra points and things like that. Good evening, George Taylor. Welcome. You missed the start of the show. Good evening. Yeah, tonight we're building a HO scale railway station. We're doing something from the Metcalfe range, Metcalfe cars and construction kits and materials. There's a link below in the descriptive about this very kit. So that's what we're doing tonight. We're building it. As I say, I don't think we're going to get it done tonight. We've been going for an hour and a half and we haven't got very far. But yeah, that's what we're doing. So yeah, go and have a look. It's really interesting. It's as Pete Rogers says, these kits make a great sort of change from gluing plastic together. So yeah, hopefully you folk out there are enjoying it. Do you want me to continue with this sort of thing? And mixing things up a bit, because I'm sure that there's lots of places that you can go and watch things being glued together, and the same things in a number of places being glued together, because we all do it. We all glue things together. It's glue glaze. It will go clear, but I do like to clean things up a little bit. So there we go. There's one of the windows in. Rear wall window frames. I want to make sure that there isn't an actual another piece that we've missed. No, doesn't appear to be. Fit two of the red window frames with the WG2. Ah yes, we are right then. Read the instructions and you find out where you're up to. On the back of the openings on WF2, and then fix a frame to the back of the windows. Yes, we're right. We're doing it right. Carly says he votes for yes for live streams of non-traditional models. Like, it's always good to learn new techniques. But yeah, that's it's nice to mix things up a bit, isn't it? Rather than the same old same. Because we'll look at different. I'm learning from this as well. This is only the second Metcalfe kit I've built from in all the years. As I say, I built them many years ago, but nothing to the standards that these kits are now. And that time I was using like paper gum. Do you remember the plastic bottles that you used to have at school. They were brown, like gum, paper gum, with they had like a little red spreader like top on them. It was like a rubber top. That's how I used to glue these together, and used to get glue everywhere, and because the paper was so thin, yeah, you'd end up with soggy you'd end up with soggy buildings that would sag. Make sure you're when building, put your windows in, that you get the glazing the right way around, and you try not to get too much glue on them like I've just done. And they line up, get them nice and square. Pete thinks it's a good idea as well to mix things up. He's into all sorts from die-cast. Yeah, Pete's into die-cast kits and the odd scratch building. I'd like to get into doing some scratch building of these buildings, which is one of the reasons I did buy that first row of shops. I wanted to see how it went together, to see if I could scratch build, and then I saw it, I put it together, and thought, yeah, I could do this. But then you look at buildings and there's not really that much to them. So if by the time you get yourself some artist's mounting card, then you could mock up your building, and you could start trimming bits off or adding bits on, and before long it wouldn't take too long to build a small cottage like we have here in the Lake District. A small whitewashed cottage with a low roof. Be easy to build. Gemma remembers those brown bottles. Yes, you remember the ones that you used to have at school. Too much glue, or not enough, or then you have to keep pressing them to try and get. Yeah, they were all gummed. Oh, excuse me, they were all gummed up. Now glue the inner wall to the rear back wall. There. Right. We'll get this bit done. There you go. If you could see it, we'll get this bit done. And you can see then how the building starts to come together. I've used the wrong glue. Never mind. Doesn't matter, it will still glue. Right, now then, this is the inner frame of your building. This is the part that provides all the support. So we put that on there, bend that round, and push it all tightly together. So now what we've got 6mm thick wall there, which is really substantial. So there we have the makings of the beginning of the building. We've got the first printed piece on. In there like that. Let's put it up to the light. The windows, the window frames. See how they have that effect now of being painted window frames. Very clever, really well thought out how they've done it. Rather than having just flush windows, these are properly recessed. So there we are. There's that. I think what I'll do then, rather than continue on building it like that, I'll go back and do the windows, finish them, and then when we come back next time, we'll continue this build. Whether we do this in the next live stream or we'll do something else when I come back in the other live stream, and we'll mix things up a bit, so you might have to wait a little bit until you see the next installment of the station, unless vote for, put in the comments below after the video is finished what you want to see next. Plastic, painting, or anything you want. Let me know. But yeah, I've been going for like an hour and a half now, and we've not a lot built really, have we? But yeah, you can start to see how they go together, and they really make nice buildings. So yeah, matchbox dodge cattle truck to a fire engine. That'd be interesting. See, we'll send us some pictures of what you're doing for that painter. Right, I'm going to call it a night for now, because yeah, it's getting on for my bedtime and I've got to be up early in the morning. But yeah, that's it. That's what these live streams are going to be about. Let's go back to here. Yeah, that's what these live streams are going to be about in the future. So we'll mix things up a bit. We'll do, maybe we might do some more of the station next time. But I'll let you know. But thanks to Candy for the super chat. It does keep me going and allows me, as I say, to buy these sort of things, so I can build more of them and show you how things are done. But anyway, thanks for joining me tonight. I'll call it a night. And we'll do some more next time. And as I say, it's not a regular thing. It won't be like next Tuesday night at this time. But you must like and subscribe if you click on the buttons down below here somewhere. Click the subscribe bell, the notification bell, and you'll get to know when I'm coming up. Also, Skipper Scale Models. Follow her on the Facebook page, and I'll try to post in the Boom Hut as well, if you know where the Boom Hut is. But anyway, I'll leave you. Thank you very much for joining me for over an hour and a half tonight. It's not often I stay on for this long, but it's been great fun. I've enjoyed doing this. I've learned a little bit. The first thing to learn is to follow the instructions and read them. Anyway, I'm going to go and do that now. I'm going to go and read some instructions, do these windows, so we're ready for next time. But until then, thank you for joining us. Stay safe, everybody, and we'll see you all again. Good night. Thank you for joining. Bye now.